7 periods of hockey, quadruple overtime. This NHL playoff game was insanity. After nearly 6 hours of play, all it takes is one little mistake to end the game. When you look at both the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, they both win games in an identical way. Get in on the forecheck and make your opponent make a mistake. This, of course, was the theme of Game 1, but it was an emotional roller coaster right from the start. The first period saw some glorious chances for Carolina, but Bobrovsky and the post kept it even until a power play goal at the end of the first. Seth Jarvis teased one home, and the importance of special teams in this series begins to show its colors. For teams that generate their offense in similar ways, capitalizing on the power play will be essential for winning a series like this. Now in the second period, Florida creates a mistake for Carolina. With Carolina's aggressive forecheck as well, Florida is able to slip it with one bank pass off the boards to create a rush. Carolina has to play catch-up, and they miss Barkov in the slot, and it's a 1-1 game. At this point, the game just becomes all about minimizing your mistakes. With both teams dumping and chasing, all you want to do is punt the puck out of your end as quickly as you can before the forecheck forces a mistake. Carolina would learn this the hard way again, as off of sustained pressure from Florida's forecheck, their D get caught in a mix-up on assignments, Verhaeghe attacks the seam, and one tiny mistake ends up in the back of the net. Now, part of not making mistakes is staying disciplined, and Florida can't help but learn the hard way in this situation, as Sam Bennett gets a little bit too excited and boards Martinook from behind. That leads to a beautiful tic-tac-toe power play goal to tie the game. Now we head into the first OT, where everyone thought this game was going to be over in the first 3 minutes. Florida's forecheck forces another turnover, and you can kind of see a theme here, right? But they eventually funnel the puck on net, and Lomberg buries it to end the game. Panthers clear the bench to celebrate, but the refs say hold on a second, and after review, they determined that there was goaltender interference. Now, Elliot Friedman said on the broadcast that because Colin White goes into the crease on his own and he isn't fully shoved in, it's goalie interference. Now, personally, I don't think there was enough contact there to call a goal back in OT, especially because Frederik Andersen gets caught sliding the wrong way, and it seemed like that was mainly the reason he couldn't get back on time, but honestly, who the fuck even knows with the NHL anymore? The result is no goal, and we continue to play on. This is where the true mental grind shows for each team. Carolina gets a new lease on life with this goal called back, and Florida, after riding an emotional high, now has to refocus and try and win the game all over again. Both teams went right back to work, but Sergei Bobrovsky and Freddie Andersen were absolutely lights out. In all 4 overtimes, they made huge stops to keep this game going, but after over 6 hours of playing hockey, physically and mentally, you're due to make a mistake. In the dying seconds of quadruple overtime, Carolina's D fall right into Florida's classic forecheck, and Bennett makes a great read on the boards to stop a clearing attempt. He then funnels it directly to Tkachuk, who pulls it into his body and fires through the triangle of Burns, and that is the game. Florida wins it. Tkachuk points to the locker room and says, let's get the hell out of here, and they take a massive Game 1. Now, very rarely does a Game 1 determine the series, and this one is far from over, but when you go the distance like that and come out on top, that is huge for the confidence of a team. The resilience that Florida showed to win this game was top-notch. Half of the battle in playoffs is dealing with the emotional swings of the game and how you respond to certain things that don't go your way. Having a goal called back in OT may be the most drastic emotional swing you could have in a game, yet they found a way to stay composed, stick to their game, and the result followed. For Carolina, an absolute gut punch to play 6 hours of solid hockey and have nothing to show for it. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the emotional swings of losing a game like this, but for the most part, I like the pressure that they showed, I like the scoring chances they generated, but Bobrovsky was just brilliant in this game. So, what did you think about this game? Did you stay up to watch it? It was the 6th longest game in NHL history. You had fans falling asleep during the game. I fell asleep for the overtime goal. But from start to finish, this game was insanity. So how do you think winning a game like this affects the series moving forward? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see more NHL playoff breakdowns, make sure you hit that subscribe button.